People ask you that question,
Yeah.
and you might not know the answer right away.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
just couldn't accept that. People thought that if you want to leave, you better have a fixed plan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't.
Please subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay tuned to the latest updates at the Powder Room Talk.
For a fact, usually in social media or in memes, you see a lot of people see the victory, but they don't see the work that goes underneath it and behind it. They glorify that stepping stone or the pedestal that got us to that success or that fame or that achievement. And then they get stuck there because they think, if I try something new, am I still going to be number one? Am I still going to be able to arrive at that rank where I used to be? And what if I don't get to the same level?
Yeah. So it's interesting what you said, JJ, because I think that for a lot of people, and myself included, we maybe subconsciously we tend to kind of make our job or our status or whatever it is as our identity. So we create an identity around this job, this position, right? And then so when we wanted to move away from it, we're scared because we think, wait, if I'm not that, who am I? Am I still going to be me, right? For the longest time, people associate me with Female Daily. Affi is always synonymous with Female Daily for a good reason, and I was proud of that, of course. But in another way, another part of it was I started to think, do I want to be that forever, right? Is this really what I wanted to be known for? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, it's not only about the business, it's not about the position, it's not about the job, but it's about, like you said, the purpose.
Yeah.
What is it that we wanted to do? What kind of contribution that we want to give to the world? And that's more important than the position or the business or the job for me. So I think that's one of the reasons why or one of the ways for me to know that it was time to kind of move on. But I don't think that was possible if I didn't eliminate all the noises around. And going back again, right, to what we said about other people's opinions, people's disappointments, fear of letting down people. If I had taken all of those into account, I would never take that decision. Yeah, because it was just impossible. Everybody was like, are you insane? What do you want to do? What are you going to do? And like you said, right, people ask you that question and you might not know the answer right away. And people just couldn't accept that. People thought that if you want to leave, you better have a fixed plan. And I didn't,
They try to convince you, right?
It's really similar with both of you. You left without knowing where it's going to go. And you left without knowing where it's going to go.
Exactly, but I just know I was going to go somewhere else. I was going to move on, and I knew that it was the right thing to do. I just don't know it yet. What it was, I couldn't explain it to people. So
was it like, how do you say? Was it like a gut feeling, or was it something that had formed in your mind for a long time, or was it like a voice inside you reminding you all the time? I mean, like everyone experiences that differently, right?
Yes.
How do you know, and how could other people know?
Okay, so that's a really good point. For me, yes, it started as a gut feeling. I started noticing how I felt after I woke up. I know it's kind of silly, but I started noticing that a lot. Even until now, I notice how I feel when I wake up. Do I have a spring in my step? Do I feel excited? Or do I kind of drag myself out of bed, like not really looking forward to the day? And I just keep on noticing those things. And then I try to eliminate. I'm not saying that I just blocked off people's people's advice. I try to take that listen to them or take them into account, especially those who are close to me. But I do a lot of inner monologue. I do a lot of journaling. I just have a lot of conversations with myself, not in a loony way, but
self-reflection.
Nothing wrong with
Again, I relate.
self-reflection. Yes, and for me,
self-reflection.
journaling helps because it just helps to kind of
Clearing up points.
clearing up,
sorting it,
exactly,
connecting it,
yes,
right?
because sometimes what in our head could be like a jumble of thoughts, and putting it in writing it helps. So that's really what I do. I mean, it takes time, of course. You don't. I don't come to that decision fast, but eventually, the more I have this inner monologue, the more I have conversation with myself, the more I'm sure that's really what I should be doing.
Even though you're walking in your purpose, there will be times you're dreading waking up from your bed, right? But I do believe that is one of the signs that when you are dreading, constantly dreading
for a longer period of time.
that when you're waking up and you feel like there's nothing else for me to do,
Yeah.
or it's like, okay, it's just the same old kind of thing,
sometimes
right?
you don't feel dread, but you feel empty.
Empty.
Yeah, that is also a sign. But again,
Because it's a different thing if you dread like maybe certain people
Tired,
at work,
right.
or
Maybe just
or
tired,
certain situations,
days,
or certain things that happen, and maybe you felt like a failure. Now you don't want to show up anymore. That can also lead to, I don't want to get out of bed, like a kind of a bit of a depressed feeling, right?
Yes.
So that's why you said like the journaling helped you actually sort all those things in your head.
where does it come from? Like what's making me feel this way? All those things are
I
important.
do agree, like the dread or the lack of enthusiasm and those emotions of emptiness is very telling. But another good thing to think about, I think, when we are on that journey of deciding that this is time to let go, this is time to quit, is to also think about how to quit. What do I mean by that? I think when it's a matured decision like the ones that you had to make, the right type of quitting, and not like, oh, I don't like this, I don't want to do it.
Like slowly withdrawing. That would be me.
Ghosting.
Very slow.
So coming back to that, how do we quit is, I think when you have the healthy type of conviction and just that feeling, even though you don't know how it's supposed to exactly pan out and what you're transitioning into, how we quit when it's right would make it very easy for us to plan out the transition so that our decisions don't hurt or impact someone else. Of course, somebody's going to, when I say hurt or impact, I'm not talking so much about the emotional level, because we've touched on it. When someone has a vested interest in you staying, they're going to get emotional, whether it's good for you or not to leave. I'm really talking about the people that are around you, and maybe people that that would be impacted by your decisions. How do you plan things out so that our decisions when our presence is missing from that space or from that time in our new season, we're going to not be in their lives. They're still going to be okay. And I think that is something that is very important, especially because we're adults. Obviously, I wouldn't expect this of a child, or let alone a teenager, because you're not at a capacity yet. But I think, especially in this unprecedented times today in the pandemic, many times when these unexpected circumstances happen, people drop things like a hot potato. But when you're really transitioning into a calling or into something new and big that is worth it, how are you going to actually have respect? Maybe people are going to be upset at first, but they will gain that respect for you because they saw the steps and that good example of how you actually left something. It is not with spite, with anger, or just irresponsibility, and how we do it is very important.
I completely agree with you. I think that's a really, really good point. I think that one thing that we have to keep in mind, we're talking about big life decisions, right? And so this is not something that should be taken lightly.
Yes.
I mean, I said about checking in with our feelings, listening to ourselves, but that is something that is not done in like a few days, right? That is something that you you check in with yourself from time to time. You look at the situation, you talk to people, listen to people's advice, and once you have arrived in that situation, I think that it is important about thinking about, okay, what is the best way to do it, because you don't want to burn bridges. You want to make sure that this people or organization or companies that you leave behind, they are
very good actually.
Yeah.
Don't burn bridges.
Yeah. So with Female Daily also, that's like I said, the process of me actually leaving the company was 2 years, and like I said, I'm still pretty much, even though I'm no longer the owner and I'm no longer involved in the day-to-day operations, but I'm still, pretty much a Female Daily girl, so
You're still proud of it,
your
right?
baby. It's still my baby. Still proud of it. In any way I can, I still support it. So I think, it's not like you move on to a different season in your life and then you close it completely.
Agree.
The previous chapter, it's not like that at all.
Yeah, I think you like you mentioned, you don't burn bridges. For me, like even if I move out from at that time I work for L'Oreal, right? Even though if I move out from L'Oreal, I'm still proud to be ex-L'Orealians. That's what we call it. Like you were ex-Female Daily, because it served my purpose at that time.
Yeah.
At that time it was the perfect job for me. It was a perfect career for me.
Yeah.
And I'm still very much grateful with whatever lesson that I learned during my 8 years in L'Oreal.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really, you mentioned how to quit.
Yep.
It's very important. So when you quit, making sure that you don't bring a negative impact to other people as well.
Yeah.
Even though it's impacting only you, but you have people around you, right? So I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, but if you bring those changes, it will always be uncomfortable in a way, right? Like there's no way you're not disappointing anyone, or there won't be any discomfort, or but I once heard that quote. Like, we're having a lot of quotes today, right? But I really love that, and it really stuck with me. It's saying that healthy things grow, growing things change, and change is always uncomfortable.
And I love that one. Yeah.
We cannot always avoid everything in life. If we don't want to live with discomfort, we just can stay where we are and never move on, never move out of it. But getting comfortable with that discomfort, that is actually a goal, like a goal we can have, or it can be a philosophy that we have in our life, to face the discomfort and go through it anyway, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the quote.
Yeah, me too.
Healthy things grow. Right? If you're not growing, means you're not healthy.
In a way,
In a way, yeah.
I'm just really, really thankful for all these brave and honest conversations today, and I really, I just get the sense of feeling that, even for myself, even through these conversations, that it made me feel that I made the right decisions in having those convictions when I decided that it was time to let go of where I was in the past and to actually move forward. And I really hope that our conversations today actually would really trigger good introspection and to actually give someone the encouragement and courage.
Oh, and I also would like to add that yes, it is tough being a single mom in a society like in Indonesia, where being a single mom is very stigmatized. But I do feel like I am lucky in a way that I have a lot of support behind me, my family, my friends. I know that not all of them are as lucky as me. Not all of single moms are as lucky as me. But having said that, what I do want people to understand, what I do want people to know is that single moms are not victims. They're not the victims of the situations. A lot of them are fighters, they're warriors, you know. It's amazing. I know so many single moms who, raise their children alone, grow as a person, have amazing careers, have businesses, or just all around, awesome kick-ass women, right?
Like yourself.
So I really hate to be seen as a victim. I am not a victim,
that's true,
if anything, I work harder because I'm a single mom. I work hard because my daughter is the single biggest motivation in my life. My motivation is to provide the best life I could give to myself and my daughter, you know. So I think that it's very important to not look at single moms that way. Don't look at single moms like, they are these helpless women who can only be saved when they marry again, you know. It's not true, you know. So and
that's right,
I also would like to say to single moms out there that you don't need to be, you know. I mean, of course you can if you want, if that's what you want, if you meet the right person, but you can, you know, be independent. You can, you know, you can create a good life with you and your children. So, you know, you're not a victim. We're not victims. So that's really what I wanted to say.
That is some serious life tidbit for single moms, and I really think, I love that you shared that just now, Affi, because I do sense that there is more taboo over being a single mom, and that easily translates into lack of support. Lack of support, both resources and emotional support also, because instead of coming with understanding ears to listen, to understand what made you make that decision, because nobody would ever want to end their marriage. Nobody would choose divorce if they want to, because at some point, we touched on, is that at some point you were both in love with each other, and you just figure out that you weren't for each other anymore. But leading up to that point, I think very often people, when they meet single moms, the first thing is there's a negative connotation at the get-go, and it's that opinions, and that's why sometimes people stay in miserable marriages. And Affi, thank you so much for being
my pleasure.
I mean, just tremendously honest.
And such an inspiration.
Such inspiration.
Thank you, guys.
I hope your daughter, who would be watching this, you know, I'm pretty sure she'll be very proud to have a mother like you.
Thank you.
So much wisdom.
Yes, and I really wish that you continue to be this woman of like strength and grace and just courage to, you know, do new things. And I think Indonesia needs a lot of, and generally all over the world, we need role models of women like you. And please keep doing what you do.
I think I learned from all of you as well. So many good quotes. I'm gonna take notes of all of them and then keep on reading them. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Affi. Thank you. If you liked our talk, please leave us some comments below and click the subscribe button and click like and whatever else you can click on this page. We're really grateful if you do, and it will help us continue on this journey and with this mission to bring more values and perspective into this world. Thank you.
Once again, we wish you to be brave and courageous, and we send you lots of love and light. Until next time at the Powder Room, goodbye.
Bye.